How to create complex repeat tiling like this in Affinity Photo. Go to the Tools panel and select the Paintbrush tool. With that selected, go to the Brushes panel. That's in View menu, Studio and Brushes. And I'm going to go with an ink brush. You could go with any of the brushes. Now this is 48 pixels. I'm using an art pad and pen and it's in black. You can change the colour, perfectly reasonable. Apply it in any number of ways. I'm using this across diagonally. But you can add maybe circles in the design, maybe little triangles, star designs, anything. Just quickly create a design like that. Now, I'm filling near enough most of the document, not all of the document, and you can see a layer has been created. Now what you can do, you can go to Filters, and you can go down to Distort and Equations. Equations are a really powerful tool of Affinity Photo. Please check out the Affinity Photo help, because there's a lot of details about equations, but you can find it even more if you go to the procedural texture section, because that's got a lot of descriptions of the various functions, etc. So I'm just going to go with equations, and by default, nothing, absolutely nothing. I'm going with this one, Cartesian. Going to go with here, x times 2. And as you can see what happens, it squeezes in that corner. Well, what I also want to do is for the y, I want to use y times 2. Now, whenever you do anything, you'll notice it suddenly goes red. That's suggesting that there's an error. There isn't. All that's happening is it just doesn't know what to do at that point. And you can see what happens. It puts it up in this top left. And that's because of the 0. That's all you got. That's that entire document has been scaled down into that corner. But you've got here, extend mode. And you can say wrap, which means it repeats it like that. Or you can use mirror. You can see the result. You can obviously choose which one you prefer. And you can click apply. And as soon as you've done that, now you've got this design, you can add to it. Don't have to keep it like that. You can actually apply some additional designs, maybe go certain parts of the design, maybe fill in the center parts, create some designs there, maybe some more there, some circles or spirals, and much more. Well, again, what you can do, you can go to Filters, but instead of using the Distort, you can use Repeat, and it will use exactly the same equation. So repeat equations, and now you've got the design there, and it's still a seamless tile. Go to the document with your brush and apply it again in different parts. Again, avoid going over the edge. If you go over the edge, it will ruin the seams. But if you just apply it just in the central bits, maybe decide, go for that, and add some more lines, etc. there. And of course, you can create all kinds of different designs. Again, avoiding the edges. That's the key thing. Now, unfortunately, because there's no real seamless tile design, it would be really nice if there was a preview feature where you could actually see it going over. Something like that in Photoshop. Really, really nice. But that's a feature I would love to see in Affinity Photo. So now I've got that design. I can do exactly the same as before. Filters and repeat. And you can see, this is the trouble. You end up with this gap and you have to fill it. That's the only thing. There's always, because you don't go near the edge, you always end up with that potential sort of gap there, which is not ideal. And there's unfortunately no offset feature. I would love to see that as well. It's something, again, that's in Photoshop, but for some weird reason is not available in this application. And you can make it as complex or as simple as you want, the design. And as soon as you've done that, you can decide again, filters and repeat, and you can see the design. And of course you have got this, unfortunately, these gaps, but just try and work maybe close to the edge, but avoid going over the edge. So once you've done that, of course, just go to File and you can export. So File and Export, go for PNG, you can see it's a 2000 by 2000, go for the entire document, export, and I'm just going to give it a name, Tile 1. I'm going to save it to my desktop. It's a PNG file. And now you can remove this. But what you can do is you can go to Layer and New Fill Layer. And with that, you've got up here, you've got Solid, Linear. So you can select that one. but you can also select bitmap. And you can select tile and click open. And you can see your design there now. And you can see you can zoom in, you can move around, you can squeeze it. There's a number of other things you can do with it. You can deselect that and you can then squeeze it like that, rotate it. But also what you can do is just a layer. As a layer, you can see you've just got one fill layer there. You can just duplicate that. So layer and duplicate. And then you can just move it and shift it. And you can create even more complex designs using this approach by combining two, because there's transparency in that. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Anything you'd like to see done with this sort of design, different modifications, etc., please let me know. Thank you much.